Welcome back to Watching Film Varnadore Films. I am Seth Varnadore. Florida's officially done with spring football. They had their spring football game, the orange and blue game, on Saturday. A little bit different setup than normal. Not broadcast, but some people were taking film from the stands, and we got a little bit of film here. So I want to say thank you to Dylan Olive at Dylan Olive _UF and at Gator Diamond Pod for throwing some film up on Twitter/X. Was able to pull some clips from there. And all I wanted to do with this video today is show some of the concepts Florida ran in the spring game and the passing game, and then show kind of that these are, Buster said after the game, these are kind of the basic. We didn't throw a lot at him. It was kind of our base stuff. So I want to show you where Buster's run those same concepts in the past. So you can kind of see, okay, this is some of their base stuff. And then how they've, even within that, how they built kind of second steps and kind of built things off of those basic concepts to create big plays for themselves. Okay. So let's go ahead. Again, one more time. Thank you to Dylan Olive at Dylan Olive _UF and the Gator Diamond Pod at Gator Diamond Pod for being true degenerates and filming the spring game for us. So that was helpful. So let's go ahead and watch that. We'll go full screen here. So let's go. We'll start here. One thing that it seemed to show up a lot, and I don't have every play from the spring game. I'm just kind of grabbing what was on Twitter and what caught my eye and what I know is kind of base stuff and things I saw over and over, or things I saw a few different places. And give some examples. So one thing they did a lot in the game is go 4 verticals. This is not anything new. Now, what they would do with it a little bit that was not totally different, but it's the same idea, right? So 4 verts, break bottom of the numbers-ish, yard, 2 yards outside the hash, yard, 2 outside of the hash, up top, same thing, bottom of the numbers. Everybody's running straight verticals down the field. Everyone's favorite play, right? 4 verticals. Now, what they're going to do is, and Sumrall mentioned this after the game, third downs, a lot of people play the sticks. And I know from Buster's past, they'll run where it looks like 4 verts, and the outside receivers will have the options to break it down like a comeback. I'm not sure if they call it or if that's a read. It could be both, potentially. So this guy could break it down like a comeback route where he's coming back down outside here. So breaks it off and probably, right, break it off with the sticks, right? That's third down. You're trying to pick up the first down. So good job kind of building, understanding, hey, we've run 4 verts a couple of times. So now it's third down, breaking down kind of right here, breaking down to run a comeback or a curl almost right at the sticks, right? If the sticks is on the 40, it's pretty close to it. I'm breaking down there. So my corner's thinking, all right, I need to make a break on the ball, right? It's third down. Just to get you enough stutter. Receiver goes up and makes a great play. Good catchable football from the quarterback. But just a little bit of 4 verts is kind of the base play. And then you built a stutter go. Now it doesn't really change much, right? And this is basically the same thing right here coming later. This is with Philo at quarterback, but you're still kind of getting the same look. And then again, right, get this one at the snap, but you have the receiver here. You have one receiver here. He's up the hash. He's going to get close to the hash, get the bottom of the numbers, right? And again, you're going to stutter, go. The stutter, corner breaks on the stutter right here. On the sticks, it says 4th down. So you're playing the sticks for sure. And then a nice catchable ball, good route by the receiver there. But it's still, for the quarterback, the read is pretty much the same, right? It's 4 verts. But bang, that little stutter go adds a little extra flavor to it for the defense playing the sticks. So nice adjustment by the offensive staff here. Here's a little look at Georgia Tech running 4 verts. So it's the same thing. And what's cool about this one is, so when you're running the 4 verticals here, right? So look, our spacing's kind of pretty similar to what we just saw And you even see the stutter here. Watch kind of the stutter go. But look at this right here. If you don't like it, you can find the back. And the back, I'm not sure if they call this like a burst route. Some people call it a burst route. I'm not sure if he's got the option or what. But the back is your check down. He runs away from the underneath defender. There you go. Nice pickup. If they all fall underneath the 4 verts right here, they all fall underneath the 4 verts, drop it down to the back. Well, what did we see from Tramell Jones in the spring game? I'm pretty sure, again, this is videos kind of cut off here at the top, but I'm pretty sure just based on releases, this looks like 4 verts. What does Tramell do? Drops it off to the back. Nice catchable ball. Check it down. There you go. So down here, he may have had a comeback, or he may have just done that based on coverage, potentially. Again, it's hard to tell. But it looks like up top, they're definitely vertical. And then you got the back coming out underneath like you just saw from Georgia Tech. Now, here's the same, pretty much the same thing. But we're just going to go switch release here. So, again, what are my landmarks on 4 verticals, right? Yard, 2 yards outside the hash, usually bottom of the numbers. My landmarks, right? So how do I get to my landmark? You know, you can run to it. What if I want to switch release, which is something Buster will do? You'll switch release. Well, okay, so if I switch release, now I take this inside landmark. You take my outside landmark. So we're just changing spots. So, right, normally 1 would be here, 2 would be here, right? 1 would be here, 2 would be here. All they're going to do now, 2 will be here, 1 will be here, 1 will be here, 2 will be here. So however they want to get to it inside. This ends up almost looking like a post, but it's really just for the quarterback. It's kind of the same read. And I wonder kind of how they teach this, because both guys break it. You know, I wonder if they're breaking kind of into the hash and it looks like a post just because how far I got to come to the hash. Or if they're looking to bend, if they can, if the safety's deep, bend in front of him. If he's low, run behind him. I'm not sure. But the safety stays kind of low here. Corner stays outside. Safety's a little low. Just fit it over his head. Again, that's just to the 4 vertical seam runner, right? I'm just hitting the guy up the seam. So here's a little look at boot here. The way they're going to do it, they're just trying to create a flood of some type, a 3-level route where you've got somebody in the flat here, somebody in the intermediate area here, about 10 yards behind it, and then somebody in the deep third here, right? That's typically what a flood is. We're flooding a third of the field with bodies. So it doesn't matter how you get there. For the quarterback, it's the same read. It's kind of high-lows, right? Usually deep to short. But sometimes you tell them, hey, if I get something open right now, take it. So right here, here's your flat player. He's going to run a corner and become your deep player. The crosser here is going to become your intermediate player. So just a kind of normal flood off the boot action. Nothing crazy. Everybody in America probably runs it. Here's them kind of running a similar look. Now it's a different kind of setup, but it's still high, low, so flat guy, intermediate guy. Off the boot action, that's Philo last year against Gardner-Webb. Can give you some good catch and run opportunities. Here's the same idea, just a different look here. Off the jet fake, but still high, low, intermediate. Off a hard run action. So there you go. There's a little look at boot. Here's a little different variation, which I'd have to see the full thing. I don't know if this is kind of, you know, some teams will have, they'll have a short route here, so like a hitch or something here that they can go to. And if they don't like that, they'll sprint out away from it. And so what you're going to get here is you're basically going to get a flood route, which looks pretty similar to the last one. But you're going to have the number 1 guy run a corner. So it's kind of hard to see here in this look, but you're going to have receiver outside. So I'm going to draw it up here. All right. So I'm going to have my outside receiver here. He's going to release inside, and then he's going to run a corner. I'm going to have my number 2 receiver here, whatever you call him. He's going to run kind of the intermediate route, and then my back's here. He's going to be the guy that runs the short route. So it's still flood, right? I'm getting a deep route, an intermediate route, and a short route, just a little bit different way to do it. Some teams call this a dash concept, where they might have this would probably be like a Z receiver, might have an X back here running a hitch, and the quarterback can catch the ball, look here first, I don't like it, roll out, work this, right? So you see the quarterback peaks here, and that could be something I like back here, or it could just be to hold the safety a little bit extra, a little bit longer, and then I'm sprinting out. There's my intermediate threat right here. Here's my back is my short threat, and right here you see the corner route, especially because they'll run a different combination. You'll see here why this is such an interesting look. It's because Florida will run under Buster Faulkner. Let's go back to our original thing here. They'll do this same look right here, and they'll have 3 receivers, a guy in the flat. They'll have this guy run a post and him run kind of the kind of flat bender or kind of a corner out. So like a scissors type look, or almost like a flood with a post. So you can really kind of hold that safety there like you're running that post, and then I break it high to the corner. And I think that's what happens here, right? I look to my left, not there, roll right. The safety, you see one safety might take, the corner comes off, it looks like on the intermediate. The safety gets kind of caught up, and you have the corner out. If you can hit it, you just miss it there. Here's kind of a look at a similar way. It's not the exact same look in terms of this is from motion. It's the look in the spring game was static, but same idea, right? Here's going to be my short player. Here's going to be my intermediate player. Here's going to be my deep high angle corner player. So flood with the rollout. This is Philo again in the Gardner Webb game, finding the underneath kind of intermediate option. All right, so here's a look at a concept they talked about at the clinic. So this is, I won't give the name that they use. It looks like snag route to me, like a snag concept or a white corner concept. But they'll have one run the corner route. He's kind of over the ball. Sometimes they'll have a lead blocker blocking. I think and then this guy will run kind of a crow route backside, or if it's press corner, he could convert to a go route. Now, I think in the spring game, you've got a little bit of this. Same idea, not a great drawing. You had the back is kind of the flare option, and then you had 2 receivers here, and it looks like they might have gone like almost pivot, dig backside. Might have been their kind of combination with it backside of this in the spring game. But this is kind of you can see the front side here. With the lead, you can throw the swing, and it's just kind of like an easy throw for the quarterback, easy swing throw. First start of the year for Philo, even though he's played before, but just, nice, easy stuff. So here is them throwing the quick version of this. So I want to show this here. You'll see the back is going to flare out. You're going to see now they're going to kind of change the release here a little bit. You're going to have the tight end here, number 2, I believe, is going to run. It's hard to see because I don't have where this sits, but I think the number 2 receiver is running the corner, and then the receiver is going to come in here and run that snag route. So that's what you're seeing right here. The back is going wide. There's the number 1 receiver coming inside here. So here, we can draw it up here. So I think this is what you got here. And then you got the back here. Back's going to swing. Y is going to run the corner. Z's going to come inside and kind of snag, right? These 2, it's possible. These are switched, but just they'd have to be really tight and compressed, and it's possible they are, which is how they run that concept sometimes. But I want to show this first short one. Right, so he's snagging right there. The quarterback hits the snag. or over the ball for an easy completion. You can see you've got somebody from the backside wrapping to the front side. I don't know if they're mixing matching concepts or if they got these all tied together. But then on this, you can see they're going to go. I'm pretty sure they're going. He's going to run like a corner and maybe go. He's going to run a snag. So this is a kind of their shot play. So they're working off of it. He's running the snag just like he did. And then he's going up the seam. So it's almost like switch verticals, which we just talked about. The back's going to come like he's running out, like he's running that flare. And then he's back inside for the check down. And then you're going to get, because I think they were running this backside. This is my guess. They're running pivot and a dig backside. You're going to get number one receiver here rolling to the dig, and then he's getting vertical, right? So a double move off that. So you got a double move here and a double move here. And we've seen Florida on the two previous vertical shots hit double moves for big plays, right? So right here, this is a concept they talked about at the clinic. So I'm assuming this particular look is one the defense saw 100 times in the spring. It's one of their. They talked about having one-word calls. This is one of their one-word calls. Like people just this is a base play for them, right? This would be kind of a tag on that call. So it's something the defense has seen a ton. So this guy's probably seen this backside dig a lot with this pivot look underneath, and he's going to try to break on it. Bang, good route. Right, watch the receiver sell like he's rounding it in for the dig, couple steps, then gets vertical. And then right here, just a great ball from Tramell in stride. Like we showed, and if you go back to our last video of Tramell last year, there are times where he hit people in the hands down the field, like you couldn't walk it any better down there. This is one of those ones you couldn't walk down there and place it any better. So really good throw here from Tramell. It's Mays. I'm not an insider, but I went to the clinic and talked to a couple people there, and they said this guy's flashed all spring. And I think you're seeing his name pop a little bit now. He had a great game in the spring game, but really good route there and really good ball. Let's watch that one more time. We'll go full speed here just because it was so beautiful. There it is. You're going to get the double move. We'll go back to the front here. So I like what's nice is I like that I think if you're getting one high safety and he just tries to fly over the top of this, you've got this working up the seam backside too. So you might be able to get that. If it's too high and the safety sees the corner out go first, right? If I'm a safety and the corner out goes and I expand, I might be able to run down the pipe here if I'm this snag and go. So I really like this kind of double move version of it, and great ball and catch. Really, really good stuff there. All right, so here's the other kind of big shot play. So you get 12 personnel here. You're going to get two high safeties, right? 1, 2's right over here. I've got a back view of this as well. So I think this is from the Dylan Olive video. The Gator Diamond Pod is the other one. So again, thanks to those guys. He's basically going to run a grab, and this is actually something that this is a concept Florida tried to do with Napier a little bit. I think if you look back, DK's big catch against Ole Miss a couple years ago was a similar look here, where he's running almost like a deep like post or almost like a real deep crosser, and he's running a dig. So it's kind of like a dagger concept a little bit. I think the back's going to fake and get in the flat. So it's like a dagger concept, but this guy's really running almost to the front pylon, or even we'll have to see his angle. Could even be the back pylon. But all the quarterback's kind of looking for here is if this safety kind of sticks right here and I can throw it over his head, that's what I want, right? So come make my fake, eyes on the safety. Look at his eyes. Really good job. Safety, you'll see right here, the safety sticks. So he knows if it's a foot race, this dude's going to win. And did he ever? And then again, like, could walk it down there any better. So great throw. And you'll see it. I think we got the back view here. I think this is the Gator Diamond Pod video. So again, this is pretty good. I got a sideline cut and an end zone cut here off Twitter. So good stuff there from Gator Twitter. Good fake. You can see here's the safety here. He kind of opens with the hard run fake. Gets caught up. Eyes here. And then as soon as Tramell sees that, like this is what's really great. He's throwing it now. He's here. He throws it over here. Let's see how far this ball, where this ends up. Drops it in the bucket right there. So really good stuff. Good understanding. Then again, let's watch. I thought the thing I really loved watching Tramell last year, he didn't seem to put the ball in harm's way a ton, but great. He threw with anticipation. So right here, he knows he's got it. It's open. If I wait a little bit longer to make sure it clears or make sure, throw this on a rope or, but he knows, look at all the open field I've got. I've got basically this whole part of the field to throw this ball to. So let me throw it with some air underneath it with some anticipation and drop it in there just like that. So really nice stuff. Again, good play design off the hard play action. Here's a similar look. Again, not exactly the same, but kind of the same idea. I think this is even Singleton running it, where you're trying to hard play action fake. They're going to slip the back out late, but trying to get basically that deep crosser across and then the dig. They end up getting back to the dig here and opens that up off that hard play action, right? So this corner does a better job of kind of not taking the underneath bait. He's not really fitting in the run, so he can kind of stay deep. But the other safety takes that crosser and opens up this dig window with that hard play action. So kind of the same idea. All right, so here's a look at kind of a flood look, or this could be potentially a scissors look. He flattens it, so it's almost like, and you got one to the flat, and he's running to the post. So you could call it like a scissors look, that maybe he can take a high angle if the corner comes or somebody's over the top. I can flatten it to the sideline. But it's kind of a flood look here. Again, same kind of idea as the boot look. I got one guy short, one guy going deep, one guy in the intermediate. Quarterback's flush, but you can see the intermediate's open. And the only reason the play's kind of close is because the quarterback gets flushed a little bit. But kind of a scissors or a flood look here. Gets the tight end open on the intermediate route. Here's kind of a similar look here from Georgia Tech in the past, with a receiver running the intermediate and kind of a switch release a little bit. But same idea. Flat, intermediate, post. You see he takes off there. So you could call this a scissors look, almost, or a flood look with a post, I think. is they're both pretty similar. All right, so here's a mesh concept. So you're going to get a motion guy. So you've got a condensed receiver here. All right, so we got a condensed receiver here. He's going to be one mesh. He's going to be over the ball. Your motion man's going to be coming in here. He's running that shallow. Your back is running the rail route here. And then backside off screen, your receiver is going to get one-on-one after the motion. He's going to run kind of a speed out. So if you like the matchup out here, rip the speed out. If not, you can work kind of the mesh concept, right? So here comes the motion. Tramell likes the matchup, so he's just going to rip the speed out. Just misses it. Again, not a terrible ball here, but pretty good coverage. Hard to tell if it got tipped. It looks like the receiver got a hand on it, but that's kind of the concept. They were just running mesh, and then you kind of having a route outside. It's not super involved, but if you like it, you can take it. So he takes that. He has the leverage out there. You can see Georgia Tech doing it here. Mesh with the rail. Even look at the motion. Similar look. They end up getting to the mesh side. But it's kind of the same idea. We're going to mesh, and then we could have kind of a route So here you go. Speed out, the rail route, shallow over the ball. Plays out the same way. Ends up getting to the shallow late, right? So you can play it a couple different ways. There's Mr. Singleton again. Here's a good look at kind of just this looks to me like just kind of your generic Y cross almost, where I'm going to be vertical. I've got the crossing route. I've got the dig back behind it. This becomes kind of the flat control or the flare, kind of control that backside off my fake. They do a good job. They kind of wall off the crosser. I've got this leading if I want to work that. And then I've got the dig coming into this big window here. So as he widens with the motion man, as they widen out, fit it in the dig behind him. He does a good job here. And he also right here throws with a little anticipation, I think. So let's watch that. Hits his back foot and throws. He's not quite in the window yet. And I believe this is after his interception. I'm not positive, but I believe this is after his second interception, which I thought, and here's a look at it, kind of similar look out of Georgia Tech. Quarterback able to step up and find the crosser late. But I thought Philo on this one, I think it's a similar kind of idea. I thought now he does not get any help here up front. He's just going to slant and just win across face. I'm not sure what happens here. Because it looks like he's definitely sliding out here, right? I don't know if it's a 4-man slide. He slides this way. He comes across. And so even if it's a 4-man slide, I think he'd have to have that. And he kind of you see him look back inside like something else is coming, but he's out and the back is out too. So there's nobody else left on this side. So probably a miscommunication in terms of the protection, I would guess. But, I don't think it would. This is not one that looks like it totally breaks your rules or anything. But right here, there's a shallow. Before, he does a pretty good job canceling that really quick and then ripping the dig. Right here, I feel like he waits a little long. And now maybe it's being a little nitpicky. But I'm sure the dig's wide open right now. Like I can just step and rip it, and maybe he is. And some of this ball is I'm getting push right back in. It's hard to kind of get this nose down. And that thing sails on me. I throw it back behind, but it's the same concept, right? So I just watching this live, it felt like maybe there's a little hesitation here. Like cancel that, rip it, and maybe I'm being nitpicky. But with that push, not being able to kind of really get that throw down, can't miss high and behind, especially over the middle. That's going to result in picks a lot more often than not, right? So, but same concept, Y cross, same thing you just see. Here's a kind of another look at it. Same kind of concept. Dropped it down to the back there. But so nothing, they were running kind of their base stuff. Here's Y cross, and they'll do this sometimes where they'll chip, and then he'll have a shallow after it. So I still think it's probably, he's going to spray release and I think run the dig. He's going to be the cross guy. Then you're going to have the shallow here. And this is one where you end up winning outside. You just got to give him a chance, right? Outside's got the vertical. You win. You got to give him a shot. Here's kind of a look at Georgia Tech running the same way. You're going to see the chip. He takes on the shallow. He's got the vertical. Here they hit the vertical. So there you go. Same idea, same exact play. Chip if you can, then shallow. Everybody else is running Y cross. Takes a shot to the vertical here. Same idea here. This time your formation at the boundary, you drop it to the back, give him a chance to make a play in space. But same idea. Then this is some of their RPO stuff that is really fun. inside zone, make it look like split zone. They'll motion this guy and run split zone a ton where he's motioning and blocking the end man on the line of scrimmage. Now he's just going to slip him and slide to the flat here. So just instead of blocking him, slips him. This guy jumps inside at all. Easy pull for the quarterback and throw. Easy yards for the tight end, right? So it's glad to see this concept because this is really good stuff always. Similar look here. They put Bailey Stockton in the backfield, but it's the same idea. Inside zone. As he squeezes down, I can pull it and throw it here. What's interesting is this was a little wrinkle they have on it, which you'll see some teams do. They'll go kind of, it's hard to see off screen here, but we'll do it as he motions here. He's going to motion, so they'll have the outside guy kind of run the glance. This motion guy here, motion, and he'll end up running a wheel route. And then you'll have the flat. And what happens sometimes, right, and you'll see here, the glance takes the corner out. The motion and the guy running to the flat a lot of times will get this apex player. He'll play this flat, and then the wheel will just sneak by him for a really big play. Texas with Sark run this a ton, and they've hit that wheel for big plays. So right here, pull it. Now maybe I don't got a lot of time because this dude's in my face and he's really athletic. So I drop it down for a big gain. But if I'm able to, here you can see he's kind of slowed down and tripped, and there's your wheel. So if I'm able to get to that next part of it, maybe the team I'm playing doesn't have a physical freak at defensive end, and I can kind of outrun him a little easier. I might be able to get to that wheel there, and so it becomes a really big play. So cool stuff. Here's kind of look at it. Georgia Tech running the same idea. Really easy completions for the quarterback. Basically a run play. This is basically the modern triple option, right? Here's your dive right here. The dive read. There's your dive read. There's your keep read. And there's your pitch read. Just the pitch is forward now, so we get some passing yards. But it's just the triple option. You'll see people call this modern triple option. It's the same idea. All right, so then here's the other pick by Philo here. So they're going to motion in and run split zone. So motion in, run split zone. And then they're going to go to a glance here. So the initial backer in the box is going to blitz, and then the safety bumps into the box with the motion, and he stays pretty low. So I don't think the decision to throw here is bad. But just, it's hard to throw over people. If it's, and I don't know, maybe he didn't see him real well. But, man, look at all the room you have to kind of try to bend him away. I think he's probably trying to hit this first window, but Singleton's moving. Like, I think even if this thing doesn't get picked, it ends up just on, he catches on the apex. I think it ends up kind of behind him, even if it doesn't get picked. But look at all the room you have in here. So I think the decision was okay. And now this guy makes a good play, but still, if you can kind of find the window here to rip it, you've got a chance for him to catch it on the run, make one guy miss, and he's gone, right? And you'll see here, that's just a simple glance RPO off the split zone action. That's something Buster's been running for a long time. You see here, Georgia Tech, split zone look. Both sides are running the glance. Watch the placement of the ball here. All right. Same idea. Just got to place that thing, find that opening. And then here's kind of, this is with the bubble attached, but it's the same idea up here, right? He's kind of running the glance. They're running split zone right here. And he's able to kind of, this guy, it's the same idea. This guy's going to bump in kind of with the motion. He's going to rock down. But if I like it, I just got to kind of make sure I don't throw it to that apex that bumps back in the box, right? So right here, same idea. So I think the idea was correct from Philo, but the execution was not. If that's something he can clean up, great. If not, turning the ball over is not great. So this one, I don't know if this was a bust or if this was designed. So if it was designed, I've got some things that it could be like a play on. But it definitely looks like there's a throw out here. They're running GT counter. So the guard's going to pull and kick. Tackle's going to pull and wrap. Quarterback fakes to the back, and the back carries out his fake. But it's possible it's almost like a draw where he could throw it out here, and if he doesn't like the throw, he could keep it. I don't know. I think it might be a busted play that ends up being really fortuitous. He stays wide, good back block. You see the puller here, and then the back almost becomes the third puller. So it almost becomes like a super counter or something. And the quarterback does a good job. The safety thinks the back might have it, so he's got eyes on him. Little Aiden Warner. He can spin it, and he can run a little bit too. So good job by him. I don't know. Again, I don't know if this is designed. It's just GT counter, but they do run quarterback GT counter. It's usually with a bash look. So I'll show you that look that typically you see when Buster Faulkner runs this. So here's kind of this is one where this is kind of a super counter where the guy that's in the backfield here is also involved. So I want to throw that one in. So you have a kick. In this one, the tackle's not wrapping. It's the H-back wrapping. And the back is the lead blocker. So this is kind of like a counter super, called it kind of counter super. So you got three guys pulling. It's almost like power, really, where he's kicking out. But the idea, you got three pullers kind of coming to the point of attack, right? He's kicking, and then they run behind the back, who's also in this scheme. This is how they normally run GT counter, where the back is opposite, and I'm reading back here, so I don't have to get all the way back and block that guy. And now my pullers are coming this way. So instead of blocking, having the center get all the way back to that end. Now they did have a tight end, I think, there to help on the end, and the center probably didn't have to get all the way back if I recall correctly. But a lot of times they'll have some type of bash motion, so that's like back away. So the back will go one way, and the pullers will come the other, and the quarterback can give it to the back, or he can keep it himself and follow the pullers. So here's kind of a version of that. Right there where he keeps it. So I don't know. Could just been a busted play. Could be some type of super counter GT with a throw on the outside, like an RPO quarterback draw. But again, could just be a busted play. So, all right, that's it for this video. I just want to take a look at some of the offensive concepts I saw that kind of harken back to what Buster's done before. Again, one more time, thank you to Dylan Olive _UF and Gator Diamond Pod for recording the game and throwing the highlights up on Twitter/X. You can find me at Seth Varnadore on Twitter/X. Obviously here on Varnadore Films on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Help me game the YouTube algorithm. I'll be back next time there's some film to break down for the Florida Gators. Thank you for watching.